Have you ever wondered if the Elasmosaurus could really crane its neck out of the water like a periscope? Well, you're not alone. This image has been popularized in movies, books, and even scientific illustrations. But before we delve into the truth behind this myth, let's get to know our subject a bit better. The Elasmosaurus, a marine reptile that swam the seas during the late Cretaceous period, was no small creature. With a body length of up to 46 feet, it was longer than a school bus. Its most striking feature, however, was its incredibly long neck, which accounted for more than half of its total body length. This unique feature led to the widespread belief that the Elasmosaurus used its neck like a periscope, raising it high above the water's surface to survey its surroundings. But is this depiction of the Elasmosaurus accurate? Let's dive into the facts. Despite the popular portrayal, the Elasmosaurus could not crane its neck like a periscope. This statement might come as a surprise to many, given how often we see illustrations of this marine dinosaur with its long neck stretched skyward. But let's unravel the truth about the Elasmosaurus's neck. The Elasmosaurus, like other members of the plesiosaur family, had an extraordinarily long neck, comprising around 70 vertebrae. However, the structure of these vertebrae was not conducive to vertical flexibility. In fact, due to the way they were connected, the Elasmosaurus's neck was more likely to move in a horizontal plane, much like a snake slithering on the ground. This misconception about the Elasmosaurus's neck possibly arose from early interpretations of its skeletal structure, with its long neck being likened to that of a swan or a giraffe. But alas, the Elasmosaurus was not equipped to lift its head high out of the water. So it turns out the Elasmosaurus was not the submarine periscope of the dinosaur era. Another popular myth about the Elasmosaurus is its tail functioned as a propeller. Just the thought of a dinosaur zipping through the water, tail whirling like a turbocharged engine, is enough to fire up any imagination. But alas, reality has a different story to tell. The Elasmosaurus, while indeed a marine reptile, didn't use its tail as a propeller for swift underwater movement. In fact, the tail of this prehistoric beast was not muscular or flexible enough to function in such a manner. Instead, it most likely served as a rudder, assisting in navigation and balance rather than propulsion. The notion of the Elasmosaurus tail as a propeller is a fanciful one, conjured up by our human fascination with speed and power. But the truth is, nature always opts for function over flair. The Elasmosaurus was perfectly adapted to its environment, with a tail designed for precision rather than speed. So, the Elasmosaurus was not the speedboat of the dinosaur era either. So, we've debunked a couple of myths about the Elasmosaurus today. Let's take a moment to recap. First, we shattered the illusion of the Elasmosaurus craning its neck like a periscope. In reality, its long serpentine neck was much more rigid than popular culture would have you believe. It couldn't lift its head high above the water to scan the horizon. Instead, it most likely used its length to sneak up on unsuspecting prey from below. Next, we dispelled the myth of the tail propeller. Contrary to some depictions, the Elasmosaurus couldn't use its tail to propel itself through the water like a speedboat. Its tail was more likely used for balance and steering rather than propulsion. Understanding these facts helps us appreciate the Elasmosaurus for what it really was: a fascinating prehistoric marine reptile, perfectly adapted to its environment. Remember, the Elasmosaurus was an incredible creature, but not for the reasons often portrayed in popular culture.